Shalom Yisrael. What is up, man? What's going on? It's your brother Shamar with Ancient Watchman. Come at you live again with another edition. As you brothers know, I'm blocked again after being in jail for 30 days. I was able to enjoy a few days of freedom on Facebook until someone reported my post in which I was basically praising or giving thanks to the Latin kings, the gang of the Latin kings that were basically defending our people from a lot of the African looters that were trying to destroy our communities. So obviously, someone within my friends list on Facebook was able to report one of my posts, which is that post that I'm talking to you about. And obviously, I was blocked. I was reported and blocked for another 30 days after just coming out of 30 days of being in Facebook jail. So it's like it's madness, man, because you see a lot of you see a lot of madness, a lot of stuff, a lot of just garbage on Facebook, and nobody gets reported. When our people, so Latinos, natives, when we are trying to uplift our nation, all of a sudden it's a problem. People have an issue with it, and Africans have an issue with it. You know what I'm saying? So it's like it's crazy. But anyways, Yeshua, shalom, shalom. Just hanging out. Um, I'm gonna share the link on the comment board. If you brothers want to come and join, feel free to do so. Shalom, shalom, Yeshua. Oh, it's your brother Shamar with Ancient Watchman coming at you live once again. Um, yeah, man. So I was blocked on Facebook for 30 days, and my 30 days expired on the 11th. So I came back to Facebook. I was able to enjoy like a few days of freedom on Facebook until I got reported for for a post that I made where I was praising the Latin Kings, the gang that was created back in the 1950s, in which our people, Latin Kings, were basically defending a lot of our businesses and within our communities in Chicago. And obviously, someone, I don't know who that was, someone within my friends list reported me. So now I'm back on Facebook jail for another 30 days after just coming out of 30 days of being in jail. So no, it's like what is this, man? Because every time Latinos, Native Americans are coming together to uplift our nation, because our nation are going through hell right now. A lot of Native Americans are being shot in the streets out of, point blank by police. It's just that it's less spoken issue within the media. Why is that? Hmm? Why? Because there's an agenda, man. So yeah, man. I posted the link for brothers. If any of the brothers want it, feel free to do so. I would love you. I would love for you brothers to come in and just talk with me, chat, whatever's on your mind. You can just share it with us and stuff. It's good for brothers to break bread, and share your thoughts, share your ideas, share your whatever is information or knowledge that has been imparted to you by the source. So let me see. So we have this article right here. It says Native people are more likely to be shot and killed by police in Canada. You see that? Uh, this part that I highlighted, it says, I think the statistics really confirm that there is a high level of police racism, abuse, and violence towards indigenous peoples. Mi'kmaq lawyer, professor, and activist Paul Palmater told CBC. You see that our people are being gunned down at a higher rate than so-called blacks, but why isn't that being talked about in the media? Why isn't that being highlighted in the media? Why? Because there's an agenda. It's like we keep compounding the same idea of the craft council against our people, or against the hidden people, the hidden ones, which is the Native American Hispanics. You know what I'm saying? So um this part right here, powerful, right? It says in the United States, Native Americans are more likely to be killed by police officers than any other racial or ethnic criminal, but there has been little official attention to the issue. You see that? So there's been little official attention to the issue. Why? Why? Because there's an agenda. Once again, going back to the crafted council against the hidden ones. So Shalom Yashra Shalom. So the question is, why then do we have a lot of this African media, or the African cases being shown in the media? Why that? Is there a crafted council? Is there some type of conspiracy where killings, their deaths are being shown in the mainstream media more than the so-called Native Americans? And if so, why? Is there some sort of hidden agenda? Because we know that a lot of the media is basically controlled by who? By who? By the Jewish people, by the Caesars, right? That's basically why, just like we read in Psalm 83, where it says that they have taken crafty counsel against that people, against that hidden ones. Who has taken a crafty counsel? The white man. Why? Because the white man controls the media. The white man, which white man? Well, the Caesars, the so-called Jewish people, aka Amalek, right? The people that are claiming to be the Jews when in reality they're not the real Jews. Well, those people calling themselves Jewish, they're controlling the media. They're called Amalek, they're called Caesars, fake Jews, right? And guess what? They're the ones that are portraying or pushing this agenda in which they're highlighting the struggles of these so-called African Americans, which are really Hamites, Jebusites, Canaanites, Hittites, Amorites, so on and so forth, Egyptians, so on and so forth. Meanwhile, our people are getting gunned down, are getting killed by the hundreds or thousands all throughout the United States, from North in Canada and the continental United States, right? But that's basically the least news that is being talked about or shown in the media. So Again, we have another case over here of a 7-year-old Guatemalan girl who died in custody at the border patrol. Right? Ain't nobody gonna march about that. Ain't nobody gonna protest about that. Ain't nobody gonna riot about that. Why? Why? Not even so-called Native Americans, so-called Hispanics. Yet again, we find them. We find our own people trying to hide the struggles and the issues of another nation. Meanwhile, our own people are dying. Meanwhile, our own people are being gunned down and killed like dogs. Yet the African American struggles is being highlighted in the mainstream media more than our people's struggles. Once again, you know, like we've shown time and time and time and time again, where we see the struggle of our so-called Native Americans, so-called Hispanics not being highlighted, being pushed aside, just like our Native American brothers that have been pushed aside in the reservations. And it's the same in the same ideology, in the same goes with the slavery. You got the slave trade being spoken of and even taught in schools, which slave trade, the so-called Negroes, which are, mostly Hamites, Canaanites, that were sent to the tents of Shem and Japheth and had to serve theirs collectively as a nation. When? Back in the 1600s. This is why we read in Genesis 9:25 that Canaan was cursed to be the lowest of slaves unto all the Shemitic and Japhetic and Hamitic tribes. This is why they were sent out to all the nations all throughout the world to fulfill their curse. And when did that happen? Back in the 1600s. Yet we have the struggle of our the slavery, actually the slave trade of our so Native Americans. And I'm gonna show you something. I'm scrolling down to our Instagram page, ancient.watchman. Brothers can check that out. Um, we just celebrated, what is it? Memorial Day. Memorial Day is basically where the white man celebrates the heroism of the nation going into war with other nations and conquering. But we have our own heroes that have died defending our people, defending our nation. Just like I posted on my Facebook, praising the Latin kings for defending our communities from these Africans trying to come in and destroy our communities, destroy our business and stuff. And so right here we have Tupac Amaru. Tupac Amaru was basically a king for the native Peruvians, Incan Empire, right? And I'm gonna read you something from um, what happened, brother. Let's see if I can scroll down. Northern Kingdom Prophet, Shalom, brother, Shalom. Um, if you want to come into the show, the link is in the boards. Feel free to click on it and let's talk about stuff, man. Because there's we need to talk about address with our people, man. But let's see. Ah, all right. Mm, there it is. Okay, so I'm gonna read these. I made this post a while ago, but a lot of people celebrated Memorial Day on Monday, especially the very same day with when what's his name? George Floyd was being killed. Right, but we have our own heroes. We have our own people that have died and put their lives in the line for our own nation, right? It says, today we remember the murder of one of the greatest leaders of the Latin American indigenous and anti-colonial struggle, the revolutionary Tupac Amaru II. Tupac Amaru II led one of the strongest rebellions against Spanish colonization, becoming a mythical figure for freedom and the indigenous peoples, rights and justice. Um, he said, I shall return and I will be millions. And this is exactly what we read in Hosea chapter 1, 110, which says that we will be like the sand of the sea. How is the sand of the sea? Billions upon billions. And this is exactly who we are. From North, Central, and South America, we are in the millions, right? It says, his last words before his death in the Spaniards' hands continues to be an inspiration of struggle and resistance around the world. You see that? And this is basically what a lot of our people don't know. There's a lot of heroes of our own struggles, or of our own revolutions from North and Central South America. It's just that it's not being spoken of. Just like, I was saying earlier that I was going to show you one of the posts that regarding I'll show I'll show you this because we're gonna do a class. We're gonna do some sort of event where we're gonna talk about why are African Americans saying that they're the Native Americans because they're black, and because we see brothers in the Bonampak Temple. There's pictures in the Bonampak Temple where it shows black natives. Now, black natives doesn't mean African Americans. Just like we see right here in this picture, you see, just because we see black Mayas on the Bonampak Temple does not mean that they're African Americans. And this is the nonsense that a lot of these brothers are pushing out by saying, "Oh, the Mayans, the Native Americans were black, brother. They were black. With really hair." Well, that's not what it said. That's not what it's shown. We have dark natives, we have black natives, but they're not African black. You know, Hamitic, basal people. Just like we see in this post that I made a while ago. You know what I mean? So it's like, brothers need to stop with the nonsense that African Americans are the Native Americans. That's stupid. And then we go to that in detail later on. But I just wanted to show you that one. Let's see. I'm going to go down because I want to show you. Was to tell you earlier when it comes to the slave trade of our people, right? Lily Blood Moon. The link is in the description area. I don't know if you can see it. Go ahead and click on it and come on in, man. I love to chat with you, brothers and sisters. Obviously I can't go live on Facebook because I got blocked again after just coming out of 30 days in jail. I was able to enjoy 5 days on Facebook, and then I got blocked because I was praising the Latin kings for defending our people, for defending our nation. And brothers got upset. Brothers got emotional about it because like, whoa, this shit, blah 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 blah. Why? Why can't we uplift our own people and not have brothers get all more about it? You know? Shalom, shalom, thank you for joining in. Shabbat Shema with the ancient watchman. I'm trying to show you that I was telling you, brothers, earlier that there is the transatlantic slave trade that is spoken of and even taught in schools today all throughout the Americas, right? All through the United States. But where is the slave trade of the Native Americans? Because our people, so-called Native Americans of North America, South America, Central America, and the Caribbean islands, we were the first slaves that got shipped around and back to the whole continent of Europe. Yet is the least slave trade that is being spoken of. Why is that? Why? Once again, it goes back to the prophecy of, uh, the hidden ones. Our people are the hidden ones. Give me a minute, intro. Shalom, shalom, Yisrael. We're just chilling. We're just hanging out. Brothers that want to come in and talk about stuff. They want to share your thoughts, share your views, share anything that you have that the Most High has put in your spirit, for the nation. Go ahead and share. If you're being led to, just like brothers, don't ever fear that you have no words to say, or there's not gonna be words that is gonna come out of your lips, because the Most High is gonna put it in your spirit to share to the tribes. Give me a minute, man. I'm trying to find this post that I made a long ago. Shalom, Yashra'al. I'm gonna be posting the link in the description area for any brothers that want to come in and join. Uh, don't be shy, man. Come and talk to us, man. There it is. I just dropped the link again for brothers that want to join in. Talk about stuff. Talk about. So yeah. So the question of the topic of today's live is, why is the black man being shut down in the streets of the continental United States? Are they found in prophecy? Is this prophetic? That's the question. And so we're gonna give you a couple scriptures that will highlight that, or answer that question. Why is the black man being shot in the streets of the United States? Why are they being killed off? Because that's the whole thing about this ideology of Black Lives Matter, right? Because that's what is being talked about the most in the media. Meanwhile, like I showed you guys earlier, Native Americans are being shot in the streets at a higher rate, but nobody's highlighting that. Nobody's talking about that. Why? You know what I'm saying? So it's an agenda. It's basically an agenda, man. So we're gonna. I'm gonna show an article about that in a minute. So let's see. I can share the screen. Share screen. Okay. Boom. Boom. Share screen. Share screen. Okay. Shalom. Jose.
Shalom.
Well, he's not arguing.
Shalom. Yo, you can hear me? Yo, you can hear me?
Yeah.
Yo, you can hear me?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yo, you can hear me? Yo, you can hear me?
You remember?
Yo, you can hear me? Yo, Shamar, you can hear me?
So the question was, why is the black man being shot in the streets of the continental United States? Question, right? Shalom, Jose Vega. Shalom, Yasser. I don't know what's going on. I posted the link again for any brothers or sisters that wanna join in the discussion or podcast. You brothers are more welcome to join. We would love to hear you brothers or sisters as well, because we're not a cult. We're welcome all types of wisdom in our platform, including women, because women have a lot to say in the matter as well, because they're crucial to humanity as well. So
You can hear me, Shamar?
yeah, I can
Okay,
hear you.
there
What's
you
up,
go.
man? What's going on?
Yeah, I know. I was like hearing like a delay. Like every time I was asking you if you hear me, I heard it
Uh,
on the screen like a couple of seconds late. You know what I'm saying? Yeah,
okay,
I can
can
hear you
you hear me
perfect.
now or no? Perfect. What's up, man?
Same old, same old. Did you catch the live that my Pereira had yesterday?
And someone see when
What was that, brother?
Yeah, I was asking, yo, Shamar, did you see that live that Mike Pereira did last night?
the followers when they have read what I have read, and then the who follows me. And I got read, and you got read.
I can't hear you.
All right, can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Perfect. Um, let me see. Hold on. All right.
Your mic is on mute, Ayash.
This is what fools do. This is what
Shalom, shalom.
fools do.
How about that?
What fools do. We do this.
I can hear you a little bit better.
Obey you.
Okay.
Now,
What
I
you
was
saying?
asking, did you see the live that Mike Pereira did last night with some Native American brother and Dawad?
No, I think the post about that, and I saw the comments where he was saying that Native Americans are not Israelis or something like that.
Yeah, how he was saying that they're basically Asians and basically things of that nature. Asians and Mongoloids.
Yeah, exactly, man, exactly. That's easy. Uh, I think you and I already brought out the fact that our people did come through the Bering Strait, and I think a lot of people have a misconception about what is it, the Covis, the Covis people. Basically, what they're saying that Native Americans are the Covis people, and that's basically far from the truth because we we already I think I already touched a little bit about. Can you hear me, bro?
You were breaking up.
Can't see it.
Huh?
You were breaking up. You were saying something about the Clovis people and stuff. That was the last thing I heard.
Yeah. No, wait, hold on, man. I don't know what's going on with this thing, man.
Here.
Yeah, you were going in and out. But can you hear me perfectly?
You there?
Yeah, you can hear me perfectly.
Yeah, I can. No, I was saying that uh, it's a fallacy because a lot of people like a lot of the African Americans within the Hebrew community, they want to make claims that our people are not Shemites because they came through the Bering Strait, even though you and I already debunked that like 2 years ago. And now Jeremiah Judah, remember when I went in a battle with Jeremiah Judah on Judah Natsar's channel, where he was claiming that the Kovis people are not indigenous or Shemites because such and such and such. They've been here 13 or 18,000 years. even though Torah doesn't specifies that the earth hasn't been that in existence for that long. So that debunks that whole nonsense. You know what I'm saying?
He's mad.
Yeah. And not even that. Just like if you're gonna say that they're Siberians because of DNA, then you're gonna have to show the language and customs being affiliated with such claims, and not even that. Usually, when I look at Siberians, you don't really see dark skinned Siberians like how you see a lot of dark skinned natives that we have pictures of, that we can show plenty of pictures of, and I really don't see any dark looking skin Siberians.
Right. Right. Yeah. Plus, a lot of the Siberians don't even claim Native Americans. Native Americans don't claim to be Siberians at all.
But you want to know what the messed up part about that whole dialogue? Again, this is the second time that a so-called Yakadian, the people from the Yakad,
Nice.
have not stuck up for our people. Do you want to know the whole time what Dawad did during well, I was watching for like at least an hour or so. Did not hear him speak once while Mike was telling the people that natives aren't Israel, and then he had a Native American on there saying that they're not Israel, right? But this is
Uh-huh.
what was really funny about the Native American that was there, right? He was like,
Uh-huh.
"Oh yeah, the camps try to beguile me with with this camp doctrine and blah 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 blah." But I'm this Christian and Christian whatever. And he was like, "Yeah, me and my ancestors, we didn't lose our heritage. We know our language and what tribes and what our ancestors worshipped and things of that nature, right?" So I'm
Uh-huh.
thinking the whole time, like, wait a minute, wait. You're over here bragging about you not losing your heritage, you losing your language. You're not you could go back all these generations of your father's lineage and your family's lineage, but yet you're in fucking Christianity.
Which is a
What kind
religion
of
that
fucking
was brought
sense?
by.
What kind of
Right.
sense is that though? Like, you're on the thing bragging about oh, I'm a native, but then you don't follow what your native ancestors follow. You gave up on that, but then you wanted to go into Christianity. Like that right there baffled me. Like I was like, wait a minute. I was like, yo, it was hilarious. But the whole time, Dawad did not say anything. This is twice already that Yakad can't defend natives being Israel on live platforms.
I know, man. I noticed that. That's really sad. I mean, you would think that the Jihadians, will stand up, because they're claiming to be mighty when the scriptures mighty in history, mighty in this and that and the third. Yet, I've seen them too. I've noticed that at least three times where they don't try to defend our nation, our people, and stuff. So, hold on, give me a minute. Randy, shalom.
Shalom.
What's going on, brother?
Not much. Just I do agree. The African American are Hamite and Canaanite. You know.
For sure. Who is this? Like, I know it says Randy the Canaanites and Hamites. Killer. That is funny, bro. That's
Hell yeah.
hilarious.
Yeah, dude.
That's,
Yeah, they are the Hamite and the Canaanite. If you see like what they have been doing throughout the riot, all that gibberish, it just
yeah,
prove it. Well, nobody gives a damn about us, the Native American, Hispanic. What about us? What about
right.
Native American life matters or Hispanic matter? But
Exactly.
it's only
Exactly.
about Black Life Matter, this and that. What about all life matter to be,
Right.
you know?
Right. Exactly. Exactly. And like Jose Vega and I, we've talked about this in our last podcast when we talked about a lot of the, like, there was a post. I don't know if you know brother Inca from on Facebook. He made a post, a beautiful post that is found in the book of Jubilees, chapter 10, where it says that a lot of the Canaanites will basically rise up in sedition and he broke down the word sedition, which is basically uprising or rioting against the government in violence and destroying a lot of things and leading others to do the same thing. And
It's
that's
in their
basically
spirit.
what we see.
It's in their
Either
spirit to be doing all that mayhem, like rioting and causing mayhem. It's all in
exactly.
there, man. Like, but us, we could back it up being Israelites, like artifacts, um, DNA tests, even the Mormon know we're Israelite. I mean, we also have
Yep.
temples.
Right.
And what do they have to back it up to be real?
Well, what they have is rhetoric. What they have is a bunch of lies that were pushed out back in the 1960s when the white men set up a lot of these camps, starting from two rabbis, two black African American rabbis called Rabbi Ford and Rabbi Matthews, which is basically they were Masons that
Oh, those
established
those dudes from the island, right? Jamaica, I believe, back in the
Rabbi
eight.
Matthew. Yeah, I think Rabbi Four was Ethiopian, and Rabbi Four he was an African American. But they're both Hamites at the end of the day. But they were learning their doctrines under the white men. They were under the tutelage or the tutoring of the teachings of the white men, and the white men set them up. And this is the crafty counsel. It goes back to Psalm 83. When Amalek, who's Amalek? Well, the so-called Jewish people, Khazars, the fake Jews, and
Yeah,
they set
the
them up.
Turkish. Tur-
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, the ones that converted back in the 8th century after the Byzantine Empire fell. We know that a lot of these Europeans, they had no choice to either convert to Islam or convert to Catholicism. They choose none of those. Instead, they chose to convert to Judaic customs, and this is why they established themselves in our land. And that goes back to prophecy in the book of Luke chapter 21, where Christ said that the Gentiles will be in our land, they will trot in our land until the time of the Gentiles is fulfilled. And that's exactly what we see, and that's exactly what's going on in our land. Meanwhile, the actual tribes, the actual chosen people, the actual chosen seed, we are, cast away. We are castaways in a different land right now, in the midst of our enemies, Edomites and Canaanites and the rest of the other nations.
that's
And we
right.
are here. You know what I'm saying? Since we are in the midst of all these Gentile nations, guess what's happening? They're trying to erase our heritage from off the face of the earth. Look at the Native Americans. Where are they right now? Where are they?
Reservation.
Exactly. They're in the
We have it
corner.
the worst. To be honest, we have it worse than the black, dude. We get like deported. We get put into reservation, and we're in the bottom of the barrel.
Exactly. And so the crafty council and that's the rhetoric, because you hear a lot of these campers, these one westers, masonic dudes, always barking like a bunch of dogs, saying, oh, the crafty council, and they always go back to the white man, but then they don't read the rest of the nations, the Arabs, the Chinese, and the Hamites that are part of the crafty council. And who are these Hamites that are taking a confederacy against us? If
Sure
not
ain't us natives.
Exactly. If not these African Americans that converted to Judaic customs back in the 1960s and began this whole bullshit on all these camps, all these factions, all these doctrines that are based on black supremacy and Pan-Africanist ideologies. And that's what we see today. You know what I'm saying? And so
Yeah,
we have our own people saying, well, we learn from them because they're Judah, this and that and the third. Well, how are they Judah when, according to the curses, they fit none of the curses?
they don't.
None of the curses do they fit. It's like
You
you
know
said
the funny
earlier.
thing about this chart they made up? They gave us the
Hmm.
donkey,
Right.
basically trying to call us dumbasses.
And not only that, but like they put Mexico all the way at the bottom, even
Yeah,
though even though the Aztec Empire was one of the greatest empire of all Mesoamerica, bro, the
yeah,
most
dude.
mightiest empire of all Mesoamerica. But we're like so-called Mexicans, they're at the very bottom of the
Yeah, you
chart.
put
That's
it right in the
crazy.
fucking bottom. Fucking
That's
Hamites.
crazy. Right.
Hey, dude. Not to sugar coated like this guy in the left. How about the
Who?
people from the like in Asia, like the Chinese? They all have temples. I mean, they could be our last, also our
Yeah.
last
Well,
tribe, and
they are because I think I'll
Same with Australia and
yeah,
New
6
Zealand, like
years
the
ago.
Maoris.
Hmm. I mean, Jose Vega brought this out a while ago, 2 years ago, when he was saying that a lot of the natives of Australia, they're also our people because they're not like African Americans.
They're not. They're like really Native American, dude. Like
Yeah,
And
straight
right.
at
They
out.
do.
and at the
They
end
kind
of
of
the day, Israel was scattered to the four corners, and this is why, and this is the argument I like to bring against so-called Negroites who claim that they were scattered in the 1600s. Well, if Israel was scattered in the ancient times, you should be seeing Negroes in the four corners of the earth in ancient times, not in 1619. The simple fact that the natives were here for thousands of years and the natives over there in Australia were there for thousands of years, yet we don't read about any of these locations in the scriptures, just again, just proves more the fact that we are Israel and we were scattered to all the earth.
True. Like the
right.
Hawaiians too, dude.
Yeah, yeah. And so let me bring this out because um 6 years ago well, what is it, when I started, being in these camps and whatever, I came across this information, and I'm going to find it. When I do, I'm going to share it with you brothers. But there is this book. I forgot the name of the book, but I will bring this out when I find it. I want to make that my homework for me, for you brothers. But in that book, it says that the tribes of Manasseh and Gad, they went eastward with the tribe of Manasseh. Because remember, the blessing of Ephraim and Manasseh was what? That the horns of Ephraim and Manasseh will push the people together unto the ends of the earth. So the tribe of Manasseh pushed the tribes of Gad, some of the tribes of Gad, of the brothers of Gad, and the families of Gad, and the families of Manasseh to the east. And that's exactly why we find them. For example, we find them in the northeast Asia, or northwest Asia, where we find a lot of brothers that are, for example, we have the Beneha, what is it, Beneha Manasseh, or Beneha Ephraim, in the northeast or northwest of Asia, northeast Asia, whatever. And they have the same customs as us, and they look like our people. They look like Native Americans. They look like our people, Mexicans, and so on and so
True.
forth. And
Talking
those
about
are
that,
our
dude.
people.
Since you're mentioning Asian and Mexican, back in the days during the Spanish slavery, all this and that,
Mhm.
they used to ship out Native American from Mexico down to the Philippines
Mm,
back in colonial time.
yep, yep, I
So I
bet.
just wanted to bring that out.
Right,
So we are scattered throughout the earth.
exactly. Like Jose Vega said.
And also the 12 tribe chart, dude. That's BS. Man made.
It is man-made, just like
That's what
we've
it's
been
like. It's
saying. Like,
against the Bible, the scriptures.
well, it's
I
not.
bet
It's not just only against the scriptures of the Bible, but it's against logic. Because think about it. Why would you find three African tribes, right? Judah, Benjamin, and Levi, according to them, but then all of a sudden you have 95%, 93% of the rest of the tribes looking like us, like the rest of the Shemitic nations. You have the Hindu people, you have the Arabs, you have
Yeah.
the Chinese, you have
The
the white men. They all are Shemitic nations, and we
the
can pass as
Philippine
any of them, right?
the
The
Filipinos
Filipinos and stuff,
and the
right?
Maoris and all those dudes. They all
Right,
look like us, like during Egypt time, Egyptian.
right, exactly.
And you don't really see any Africans like blacks,
Right,
like
and
scattered throughout the
and
earth.
right. Well, even if they are, like Jose Vega and I brought it out already, like a lot of the slave trade of the 1600s, it pinpoints them to being Canaanized because they were sent to all the tents of Shem and Japhet and Ham to fulfill their curse, which is to be the lowest of slaves. And brothers don't want to accept that because, like, well, how so? Like, what? Because they want to claim Judah, they want to claim to be the chosen Levites, and they want to be the head tribe, this and that and the third. When
and
that's
even though we've proven over and over about Canaan being scattered, about Canaan going on slave ships, about Canaan being taken over by multiple nations. What other African nation got taken over by other nations other than the so-called Negro? It's just simple logic like that.
I'm not sure. No one. I don't know about that.
Exactly. Like I said, when you read the book of Ezekiel 28, just like how you will read about Edom and all these other nations and get the gist of their characteristics and punishments. And that was one of the punishments for the Canaanites, that they would be taken over by multiple nations. And how
Can you brothers hear me?
Yeah.
yeah. You took yourself off.
Oh, it's gone.
No, it can't be gone. This is what happened last time. This is crazy. This is his own life.
Oh, it's the Hamite.
Oh my, he doesn't have to jump back in. Maybe he's trying to switch it up to his laptop or something.
Do you believe we're living like the last time, or it's beginning?
Do I believe? Like, what do you mean?
We're living
go
like
through
the
another
last
captivity?
years. Yeah.
Yeah, of course not. I don't see our people going back into captivity without a fight.
Personally, I think it's beginning because we're barely waking up, and in the U.S. it's just gonna annex more nation. Like sooner or later Mexico is gonna be part of the U.S. and so on.
All right. So remember, brothers, I was telling you about the Beni Manasseh. There, I found it because I had it written down. So I have it here. So the Beni Manasseh are a group of indigenous people from India's northeastern border, states of Manipur and Mizoram, who claim descent from the lost Shemites of Israel. They are made of Mizo, Kusi, and Shin people who all speak Tibeto-Burman, migrated into the northeast India from Burma, in the mountainous region which lies on both sides of the border of between India and Myanmar, which is former Burma. Um, lives the Menashe Shinlung tribe, which is basically 2.2 million, right? And then I did some notes a while ago. This was years ago. It says our people may look Chinese, Burmans, but the entire tribe is conscious of their Israelite lineage. Their customs resemble that of the ancient Israelites. Animal sacrifice. The word Menashe appears often in their poetry and prayer. When they pray, they say, "Oh God of Manasseh." According to their oral history, they were exiled to Assyria in 722 BC with other northern kingdom tribes. Later, Assyria was conquered by the Babylonians 607 BCE. Then the Persians came in 457 BCE. Then the Greeks came in 331 BC. That's when the people of Manasseh were deported from Persia to Afghanistan. This is why, I don't know if you brothers know, but in Afghanistan, there's a small tribe of Iraqis which speak Aramaic language, which is our people. They look like us. You brothers can go in and you can blend in just like them. It's just that you'll be speaking Spanish and they'll be speaking Aramaic. Anyway, so it says that's when our people of Manasseh were deported from Persia to Afghanistan and other places. There they became shepherds and idol worshippers, obviously, just like our people have been doing for thousands of years. With the conquest of Islam, they were forced to convert to Islam. They spoke Hebrew, were called Shemitic, kept Torah scrolls with them. From there, they migrated eastward until they reached the area of Tibetan China border. They continue into China, following the river Wei until they reach central China. Settled there around 231 BCE, and that's basically kind of like a little bit of the history. But our people go to they go back to the dynasty and the Shi dynasty. Those are our people that migrated during the times after the 722 BC. So
Interesting. That's who we fit in, dude. Like with Middle East, so we blend in.
Jeremiah asked, "What book was that, Ayash?" Did you hear me, Ayash?
Hello.
Yeah. Did you hear what I said? I said Jeremiah asked, "What book was that?" or the source that you quoted from.
Oh yeah. That was basically like a summary of a research that I did a long time ago. But like I said earlier, I'm gonna go back and research that book again because I forgot it. That was 6 years ago when I came across this information. So I'm gonna try to find the book, and I'm gonna do like a little short clip on Facebook when I go back on Facebook because I'm blocked again for 30 days. And I'm gonna share that information with brothers so that you brothers can also have that information. But that is really powerful because remember, when our people were in Assyria, we never came back to Samaria. We left Assyria and we came on this side of the world with the Ephraim led the voyage, and then Manasseh took Gad and half tribe of Manasseh and some other tribes to the east, and that's where you find the Shi dynasty, like the Chinese, the Shi dynasty. Like you would think that they're Chinese, but they're not. The Shi dynasty were basically Gadites and Manassites that established the Shi dynasty, and obviously right after that, the Shi dynasty basically got taken over by the rest of the Chinese, just like the curses would say, we will be taken over, we will be fleeing, we will be persecutors, seven will go after us, so on and so forth, whatever. So that's exactly what happened. And so the Shi dynasty basically mingled in with the rest of the Chinese, and they got mixed in with the rest of the Chinese people. But there's Chinese people that are our people. This is why I don't know if you brothers have seen that video where you have a lot of Chinese people wanting to be cholos and stuff.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Also
Remember
in
that?
Thailand.
Exactly, in Thailand or whatever. Why? Because they have that vibration. They got that spirit. They want to be like us because there are people. Even though they look like Chinese, even though they speak the Chinese language or Thailand language or whatever.
The Thais are actually pretty dark, dude.
They are. Like I met some Thais, bro. When I used to live in Vegas, bro, I used to work at this restaurant, and I met this Thai brother, man, like a cool dude, man. Like he looked like he wanted to be like us. He wanted to speak Spanish, bro. Like his vibe was like us. You know what I'm saying? So it's like our people are there. Our people are scattered. It's just that these Negroites, these Hamites,
their just calling them Moabite.
Exactly. They're color struck. They're blindfolded by color, by melanin, by melanin. Like, well, you gotta be black, you gotta be jet black in order to be Israel, and you gotta have woolly hair. Even though Jose Vega already proved that King David didn't have a woolly hair, he had straight hair, just like his father. His
father. He was red, dude.
Solomon.
He was red. If he was like rotting.
His hair was red. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, what are you guys talking about, man? Like, why? And this is why, we made a class last year, 2 years ago, when we exposed how these camps brought these ideologies onto all these factions of these camps, saying that the 12 tribes are black, King Solomon is black, King David is black, the Jews are black, everybody's black, this and that and third. The air was black.
Adam
was black, the trees are black, your tongue was black.
Your teeth were black. The Vikings are black.
Your Vikings are black.
The English, the Kings.
Yeah, but it doesn't make sense, because how was Adam and everybody black when they teach that Ham is the progenitor of the black races, and Egypt, Libyans, Ethiopians, Canaanites were all nations even before Israel. So how can Adam and everybody pre-flood be black?
Because they were king and shit.
No, that's what I'm saying. Their own logic goes against them. So if they want to say that Adam is black and all these other people were black pre-flood, then they can't say that the Hamites are black people. They can't say that. That logic doesn't go together.
They'll say they're like East African. Those are the Hamite, East African.
Yeah, or they say that the Canaanites are South Africans, even though they can't prove their case, you know. Shalom, Yashar your brother Shemai with Ancient Watchman, hanging out with the brothers, just having a freestyle discussion on stuff. I posted the link. If any of you brothers want to join in, feel free to do so. The link is in the comment board.
He
If
said,
brothers want to join in.
Belville said, read the definition of ham in the Bible dictionary. Want me to pull it out? I have it. Because a lot of the One West camps love to quote Ham from the Zondervan, not knowing that Zondervan is pushing white supremacy. But it says right here, this is on page 213 from the Zondervan Bible Dictionary. It says Ham, the youngest son of Noah, born probably about 96 years before the flood, and one of the 8 persons to live through the flood. He became the progenitor of the dark races, but not the Negro, but the Egyptian, Ethiopian, Libyan, and Canaanites. You can go to Genesis 10 to read about that. But there you go.
Yeah, I don't know who Belvid is, but Belvid, the whole definition of Ham is basically out of the Zondervan dictionary, is basically pushing white supremacy, because it's basically telling you that that Ham is the progenitor of the black races, basically excluding African Americans or Africans for that matter to even be part of the sons of Adam. In other words, the Zondervan dictionary is basically calling all the African Americans and Africans of that on that matter to be the beast of the field. They're not even Shemites or even sons of Adam for that matter. That's basically what it's saying. That's why it says Ham, the progenitor of the black races, so on and so forth, such and such and such, but not the Negroes, meaning not the African Americans. You guys are not even part of Adam. That's basically what it's saying. So you brothers need to stop quoting that Zondervan Ham definition, because it's basically telling you that you're not even part of the sons of Adam, that you guys are the beast of the field. That's basically what it's saying.
Okay. Belvid is saying it's not good to speak ill against the Israelites because you've come across some you don't agree with. I don't know. Well, Belviv, you can jump on the live and speak your piece. And what do you mean?
All right, Bell. I'm gonna post the link so you can come in and talk your piece, because I don't know if you're following. Because again, you come from the train of thought of One West, which is basically a bunch of Masons that were established by the white man anywhere at the end of the day. So your doctrine or your ideology and your mindset is geared or rooted in these One West ideologies, again, which started by Masons and rabbis, which learned their doctrine from the white men. So again, a lot of these camps are pushing Pan-Africanist ideologies that began with Rabbi Matthews. Rabbi Matthews is the one that began this whole nonsense that the tribes were black, Adam was black, this and that and the third. And you brothers, jumped into the train and just now you're saying the same thing. So go ahead and join in. I posted the link. If you want to speak your piece, go ahead. Northern Kingdom Prophet, what's going on, brother? What's up? You quiet.
Shalom.
What's going on, brother?
Barakatah,
man. What's going on, man? What's new? What's happening?
Man, just peeling these pages, man, trying to patch up our history, connect the dots, man, build a foundation for our people, walk across, man.
Right.
You know.
Right.
So I had a question for Brother Randy. Brother Randy, the Canaanite and Hamite killer.
What up?
What is your nationality, brother? If you don't mind me asking. Shalom, first of all. Yabashim Yashai Brakata.
Mexican?
You're Mexican? Okay. And you're an Israelite, right?
I assume so.
You assume so.
I mean,
So you're not
aren't we
completely convinced?
Israelite? If you are
Well, you
Mexican,
tell me,
anyways.
brother. I'm asking you a question. You tell me, are you an Israelite or not? Because you don't seem very convinced about it.
Yeah.
You are. You still don't
Are
sound
you?
very confident. Yes, absolutely. 100%. The reason I ask, I don't mean to put you on the spot or nothing, brother, but I'm just trying to make a point real quick, okay? Now, what I'd like you to do is just prove to me through the scriptures that you are an Israelite. Please. Abakasha.
I'm barely getting to the Bible, so I don't know which part to start. That's why I came in
Okay,
here.
that's fine, brother. You're honest, and I can appreciate that. But that proves my point completely. Okay. Now, instead of always focusing on, okay, the black guy, the black guy, the black guy, this is just perpetuating the problem. The black guy, this.
I mean, I'm connecting the dots. I mean,
Oh
I
no,
can
no,
see
bro,
it
I'm
very
sorry, bro.
clearly.
I'm not talking. I just wanted to prove a point, and I appreciate you conversing me with that. But now, what I just wanted to say now, if you let me speak, by just focusing on, okay, the black guy is the same thing that the media is doing to us. The black guy this, the black guy that, right?
I
When
mean,
we
I
are,
don't see our people in the media. I mean, we get murdered every day.
I know that,
You
brother,
don't
but my
see us.
point is, hold on 1 second, please. My point was, brother, is that you couldn't prove to me in the Bible, and it's not your fault. It's the elders, brother's fault that won't teach you. Okay, it's like my fault. Well, I just met you, so I would like to teach you. I could go through 3 hours of scriptures with you, and I would love to teach you that. That way, you have a foundation to prove who you truly are in the Bible. You know what I'm saying? But my point is that brothers that are constantly focused on, oh, the black guy this, the black guy that, it's focusing all your energy in the wrong direction, man. When my
I
brother
mean, what
Randy,
should I focus? Be hating on the white men?
sorry.
Should I be hating the white men then?
No, brother, my
Because that's
point
kind
is
of
that
like dumb, you know?
no, bro. You're missing my point. My point is that you should be having your head in the books, studying, being able to prove that you are Israel. And then brothers like Hosea Vega and brother Shamar should be teaching you instead of focusing on the white man, the black man's not the Israel, the black man this, the black man are Canaanites, this and that. When we have brothers like you that need to be taught the foundation, the basics.
Well, I'm
That's,
learning slowly right now. I mean,
yeah, that's good,
little by
brother.
little, you know?
I appreciate that. But my
But
point
some
is,
of them are wrong, dude. Like
I'm
on
not.
the regular Hebrew Israelites, how they preach, it's kind of off, you know?
Don't worry
What
about that.
Jose
You
and
couldn't even bring out one scripture to me that proves that you're an Israelite, bro. And all I want you to do is focus on that. And what I want Hosea
Hold
Vega
on,
and brother
brother.
Shamar
Hold
to
on.
do is
Northern Kingdom. Hold on, brother. Now let me just say this in defense of these a panel, right? Brother Randy, I've never met him. I don't know who he is. He just jumped in. Obviously, I posted the link and he jumped in, and he was talking to us. We invite everybody else to converse with us. We meet. That's how we network. We meet all the brothers and sisters. Now, um, the brother, I don't know his background. I don't know where he's coming from. I don't know.
you do know his
I've never met him.
background. You do
Hold
know
on.
his background. He's an Israelite. That's all you need
Yeah,
to
yeah.
know.
Well, hold on. Let me make this point. So you're asking him whether or not he's an Israelite. He may not bring out scriptures, but guess what? Romans chapter 8, it tells you that the Spirit bears witness with our spirit that we are the children of the Most High. So even though
bring it
people
out.
may not, like, for example, I'm gonna give you the greatest example about personally, right? When I was in the Christian church, I never knew Deuteronomy 28, but yet I knew that I was an Israelite. I called myself an Israelite. I stopped eating pork. I even bought a menorah. You know what they used to call me? They used to call me El Jodido. Why? Because they used to call me the Jew. The Jew sounds like El Jodido, like El Judío.
el judío, el jodido. They used to call me that. They're like, oh, the Jew, here goes the Jew. Why? Because I had bought a menorah. I started keeping the Shabbat. I stopped eating pork. And guess what? I never knew the breakdown of, oh, well, you are an Israelite because Deuteronomy 28 tells you so. No, I knew I was an Israelite because my spirit was bearing witness that, hey, man, like I want to go to Israel. I want to live in the land. I want to learn the language. That was my spirit. It still is, you know. So, bro, even though my brothers like Randy and all the brothers and sisters may not know, like, you know, a whole breakdown of, hey, well, this is the scripture that proves I'm an Israelite. Yet their spirit is being pinpointed back to the Father, that they are the Israelites according to the spiritual stance. You know what I'm saying? And this is exactly what the book of John chapter 6 tells you, that the Father will draw us in. It's not that we will have some sort of breakdown and revelation and eureka about it, but that we will know that we are Israelite through the Spirit. Just like the book of Romans chapter 8 verse 16, I think, or 17 says that the Spirit bears witness with our spirit that we are the sons of God.
And this is why I also teach brothers that it's all good to learn scriptures. Like, we can read books all day, right? But I tell brothers this all the time. It's all right. After you learn your history and who you are, you don't need a book. Nobody needs a book to communicate with the Most High. Like Shamar said, he knew he was a Jew before he even knew the breakdown. Like in my case, I knew my whole life that there was a God. I just, I was never a Christian. I was never into any of that. I never been to church. I never been any of that stuff. Like I basically started reading the scriptures when I was 33 years old. I'm now about to be 39 this year. You know what I'm saying? But I was never in religion. I didn't learn it, you know what I'm saying, until I just knew it in my spirit. I didn't need a book to say like, oh yeah, there's a God or not. You know what I'm saying? Like at this point, even the scriptures tell you that in the future, your children will be prophesying, right? Okay, so if we're going to be prophesying, why are we going back to a book reading about other prophets' prophecies when we should be prophesying right now?
Exactly.
We're supposed to be living the book right now.
That's my point. That's my point right there.
Let me read out the comment of 1538 French Life. He said, so you saying that the so-called blacks that call themselves Israelites cannot have the same experience, and that's why they go so hard for your Yahweh? Hold on, brother. Hold on, Northern Kingdom. Hold on, brother. Hold on. Okay, so let me address what brother 1538 French Life says. So you saying that hold on. I'm gonna post this on the hold on, give me a minute. Okay, so it's saying, so you're saying the so-called blacks that call themselves Israelites cannot have the same experience, and that's why they go so hard for your Yahweh? Vega, can you read Ezekiel 28 where it says that they will have the same level of wisdom as Daniel? This is to answer 1538 French Life.
Yeah, this
Northern
is
Kingdom.
This is,
I'm gonna let you speak in a minute, brother. Hold on.
This is Ezekiel chapter 28 and
verse 1.
Verse 1. It says, the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, Son of man, say unto the prince of Tyrus, thus said the Lord God, because thine heart is lifted up, thou hast said, I am God. I sit in the seat of God. And then
hold on. So this is why you have a lot of so-called Negroes, a lot of so-called blacks saying that they're gods, that the black woman is God, that they're gods, that they're mighty and powerful, right? Read on.
Yet thou art a man and not God, though thy sit thy heart as the heart of God. Behold.
So you have a lot of camps that are posting the images of Yahweh and Christ as black African American men. They're seating themselves in the seat of God. Why? Because they're painting themselves as gods themselves, as Yahweh. They're painting themselves as Christ, as the Messiah, or Yahweh Shai, or Yahweh. or Christ, Yahshua, or whatever, wherever you want to name it, right? Read on.
And it says, "Behold, thou art wiser than Daniel. There is no secret that they can hide from thee."
You see that? So a lot of these Negroes, they are at the same level of wisdom and understanding. This is why they're able to break our scriptures. This is why they're able to break certain mysteries of our scriptures. This is why they are also wise at the same level of our greatest prophet, Daniel. Who? Why? Because they were given that vibration also. Read on.
Verse 4 says, "And with thy wisdom and with thy understanding, that has gotten thee riches, and have gotten thee gold and silver onto thy treasures."
Yeah, so we know that the Black African Americans, community, they spend billions of dollars year by year. Not only that, but throughout the ages, starting from Carthage, their port back in the days, they were basically making voyages. They were the greatest seafarers of all the planet. This is why when the Spanish wanted to conquer the Mesoamerica, our people, guess who they hire as navigators? Canaanites, Sidonians, to navigate on the side of the world, to do what? To conquer our people. This is why you find a lot of Black conquistadors that came on the side of the world to rape, murder our people. This is part of the curses that the other nations that were not Israelites would come on the side of the world to basically desecrate our temples, desecrate our people, rape our women, this and that and the third. And this is what happened. And so to answer your question, am I saying that we cannot use the same understanding of Romans 8:17, where it says that the Spirit bears witness with our spirit that we are the sons of God? No, we cannot, because even though they have the same wisdom of Daniel, they're not our people. They can break our scriptures, they can break our mysteries, this and that and third, but they're not our people. They can do that. And you know what? A brother brought this out a long time ago. I'm not gonna say his name because it's not even worth it. But he brought out this understanding when it comes to who built our temple. Hiram. Hiram was a Canaanite Hamite that was hired by King Solomon to build and construct our temple. And this is exactly what's going on today. You have a lot of these Canaanites, a lot of these Hamites constructing our temple. But guess what happened to the Temple of Solomon? It was destroyed. It was meant to be destroyed. Why? Because that temple was tainted by the hands of Hiram, a Canaanite king, and their sons. So that's why, we cannot use the same understanding when it comes to Romans 8:17, that their spirit bears witness with our spirit that they're the sons of God. Because even though they have wisdom, even though they can break our scriptures, even though they can understand our mysteries, they're not our people.
And we're speaking about this not in a racial sense, okay? Because again, when it comes to it as them as a race of people, yes, there are Canaanites, but yes, they're going to have individuals who are Negroes that are going to bear witness because they are Israelites.
Right, exactly.
So,
and then
because you have plenty of Negro movements that they believe that they're Egyptians. You have Negroes believing that they're Moors. You have Negroes believing that they're Canaanites. You know what I'm saying? Like, why? Because their spirit is bearing witness to all those things. But most of the Negroes that you see that believe, in Yahweh and in the scriptures is because at the end of the day, their spirit is bearing witness to being an Israelite. And I would not deny, we should not deny those brothers of being Israelites.
Right. And then she's saying, is it possible 1538 French life? Hold on, I'm gonna post that comment again on the live so brothers can see it. She said that, he said, I don't know if it's a woman or a man. Is it possible, brother, that some of these so-called African Americans are actually natives? It is possible because our people mixed in with the Hamites. Vega, can you read that? What is it? First Ezra chapter 8, verse 69 and 70. Is that what it is? So yeah, it is possible that some of these Negroes might be natives, but through admixture with us, meaning that we.
The scripture you're asking for was mostly Southern Kingdom. Those were the Levites and Judites and stuff.
Right, right. But still, that proves that our people mixed in even with Hamites and Egyptians
Well,
anyway.
you read about that in the book of Hosea. You know what I'm saying? How Ephraim is a cake not turned. You know how we were committing we were mixing in with the Hamites, and I believe
Right.
it's Hosea 8 or 9 that told you how Ephraim, as he saw Tyrus, were planted in a pleasant place. So we know that the Canaanites will be dwelling, that they were dwelling over here in the Americas with the Northern Kingdom.
Exactly, exactly.
And the
So
book of
and that and
Hosea exposes that.
right, and also that history proves that too, because we brought this information a long time ago when the Paraiba stone in Brazil, when a lot of the Canaanites crash landed in the shores of our lands, and they came into our lands. They made treaties with our natives. Obviously, later on they turned down on us, and they started massacring our people and committing genocide, and they took over the Mayan Empire. And this is why you have a lot of Africans.
Okay, hold on. 1530 Fringe Life. He says, but brothers, that's exactly what you're doing, is denying them from being Israelites by calling them Canaanites. No, again, see, this is why people like you don't listen. As a race of people, they are the Canaanites. Just like you guys teach, the race of the people of the white man is who? Is Esau. But we do know that there's going to be white Israelites through mixing. Just like we know that there are Negro Israelites through mixing. Their spirit is going to bear witness. But in all actuality, even if we go by carnal,
Yeah, I don't know what happened.
just being carnal with it, the so-called Negro looks like their brother Ham, all the Hamites. That's his point blank. Period. There's no getting around that point. So yes, individual Negroes can be.
You brothers hear me? Or no?
Israelites. Yeah, you can hear.
Yeah.
Yeah, we hear you. But you see what I'm saying? Hopefully that answers your question, Fringe Life. Because again, like I see you're trying to stick up for the so-called Negro. Are you going to stick up for the white man that are Israelites? Are you going to stick up for the Asians that are Israelites? Or are you going to stick up for the Arabs that are Israelites? Or are you here still trying to convince the viewing audience into camp doctrine? Because camp doctrine is trash.
Hey, since you brought out the first shipment of the Moor, this and that, down to Mesoamerica, they also kicked out a lot of Jews, like all of them, out of Spain. Have you ever heard of the Converso?
Shalom, shalom. Oh. Shalom, shalom.
Oh, yeah.
You're echoing.
Shalom.
Yeah, y'all should like. Your mic is sounding kind of funny.
Shalom. Vega, unmute your mic.
Yeah, I believe everybody can hear us, right, Randy? You can hear me?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's your mic, Yash, that sounds kind of like echoey. It has like an echo to it. Yeah, Northern Kingdom. You can
brothers hear
unmute
me now?
yourself.
Yeah.
Shalom, shalom. All right, bro. Check it out. So the brother, that's my point. I was trying to make is that we have a young brother right here named Randy, the Canaanite killer, right? And he couldn't pull out one scripture, but my point is that we have this young brother right here in the Great Commission that Yahweh.
I mean, I do know a lot about history.
That's cool. That's
I don't know
cool,
much about the Bible, but a lot about history.
That's cool. That, I appreciate you, brother. You're young in the spirit and everything. But my comment is going towards the ancient watchmen. Now you have these brothers with the wealth of information, And we're all sitting here now, and you have a young brother, new in the spirit, but they rather go over and argue and fight with these people in the comment board when they could be edifying you, which is the Great Commission to make disciples, to make you a disciple, brother, and build you up in the spirit so you could raise up fruit. You know what I'm saying? And that's just my point right there, bro. But you know, it seems like it's falling on deaf ears. So you know, I'm just gonna, you know what I mean? I'm gonna let y'all do your thing and in that contentious spirit and everything. And you know, hopefully you brothers could teach our brother Randy the Canaanite killer. If not, brother, you know, come to my channel, man. You'll learn something. Shalom.
Yeah, like we tell brothers all the time that they can hit us up privately if they want to learn things. Our phone has always been open up to brothers, you know what I'm saying? And we
Do
do.
you guys have like Discord?
No, you know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, he feels like we should be teaching. Actually, we do teach. That's why we have classes. And again, that's why we have debates. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, I'm cool about talking about information, you know.
Because at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying?
Little by little about the Bible.
Like we tell brothers all the time, you know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, it's good to learn scriptures, but what is scriptures going to be? Again, live it. You can read scriptures all day and you know and claim to have all this knowledge. You can read scriptures all day. You have to live your life. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna have to live through the spirit anyways. The spirit is gonna reveal it. You know what I'm saying? Just like even with Christians, you know what I'm saying? Even Christians, you know, I don't really have problem with Christians because at the same time they feel like they're the child, you know, the child of God. Regardless of doctrinal beef, because that's what the real contention is. Doctrinal beef, gang shit. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Everybody should have their opinions or should be freely to express their opinions and their beliefs. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, if the Mormon feels like they're a child of God, who is to deny them?
I mean, they're like about the only religion that says the Native Americans are like the Israelite.
Exactly. But then you have camps and camp doctrine teaching you to stay away from the Book of Mormon, when the Book of Mormon teaches you a lot of the history that was going on here in the Americas. You see what I'm saying? This is why we're saying that, you know, forget about all this doctrine stuff. Like, forget about One West, forget about Christianity, forget about everything that, you know, somebody's trying to bring you into. Listen, Ancient Watchmen were not a religion. Okay? We don't teach religion. Okay? We call out people's doctrines, regardless if it's from the New Testament, Old Testament, or whatever book they want to pull. You know what I'm saying? We question all doctrines. That's why we're called a watchman. We're not trying to build a church. We're not trying to be like One West and build a bunch of followers. Listen, what we try to do is let people study for themselves. Do not let somebody tell you, oh, you can't read the Book of Mormon, or you can't read the Book of Enoch, or you can't read the Book of Jubilees, or you can't read the Apocrypha. Listen, eat the meat and spit out the bones in all books.
True.
You see what I'm saying? Not everything is perfect. Trust me, when people try to come to you with that argument that, oh, the New Testament is the Word of God, or the Old Testament is the Word of God, not all of it is. It's complete nonsense.
As long as you have a good spirit, it's all good.
Yeah, and let me just highlight what the brother Northern Kingdom brother was saying, that, you know, instead of us talking about such and such and such, you know, obviously, you know, we are well-rounded brothers. I mean, we have various classes regarding the you know, educating our people on the curses and whatever the like. But, you know, if the brother was feeling some type of way that we're not doing our job, it's not just the Ancient Watchmen. We're not responsible for the whole nation. Everybody has a part of it. As a matter of fact, you know, the book of 2 Corinthians chapter 12, it tells you that we are the body, and the body has what? A body has a hand. A body has fingers, nails, eyes, ears, nose, eyebrows, forehead, hair. Meaning what? Meaning that we all are members of the same body. Meaning what? Everybody has a function. So if the brother feels some type of way that we are not doing such and such and such and such, then he is more than capable of jumping in and being like, brother, I answer I ask you a question. You didn't know about such and such. Well, let me just show you a few scriptures. Jose Vega and I we would just sit down in the background and stay quiet. Meanwhile, Northern Kingdom, is supposed to be doing his job, but he's making it sound like it's all our job, that we are the main ones that we're supposed to be teaching, when in fact, again, 2 Corinthians chapter 12 tells you that we are the body, and the body is made up of different body parts: hands, feet, fingers, again, ears, eyes, nose, mouth, teeth, all have a function, and the brother Northern Kingdom is part of that body. So if he felt that he is the mouth to say such and such, he just should have said that. Instead, he left. Right?
I mean, the reason I really came in here because you guys make a lot of good points. I mean, yeah,
Right.
like a lot of good points.
Right. Exactly.
Like
And
one
then
of the best channels on YouTube for Israelites, hands down.
Right. Appreciate it, bro. But like we say, Jose Vega and I would say that if brothers have questions, you brothers can always ask us. Come into our inbox. We're on Facebook. My name is Ayashi Tayak. You brothers can find me there. Jose Vega is there. You brothers can inbox the brother.
You should
I share
consider
my
joining Discord, dude. Right
What's
there,
that?
we could like share knowledge. Discord.
Yeah.
You could also voice chat. You ever heard of the platform Discord?
Mm-mm.
Oh, it's pretty dope, dude. Right there, we could voice chat, post images, type back and forth. It's like a platform.
Right. I mean, we have a page page on Facebook called Guardians of Truth. We share a lot of stuff there. Just a lot of stuff from different backgrounds and subjects and stuff. But brothers are more than welcome to come into our inbox and ask us anything.
Yeah,
Anything that you.
I think it was just. I think what Northern Kingdom did was kind of. I guess he was again. He's just that brother we had him on 2 weeks ago. He's kind of still stuck on the camp doctrine, and the reason why he wants us to get off the Negroes so much is because he still has that camp doctrine wine going through him. You see what I'm saying? And he wants us, and just like this person, was it Fringe Life, right? They still have this feeling for this camp doctrine, even though we thoroughly debunked it. And if anybody claims that that's all we talk about, bro, you could go on my Facebook. We have plenty of classes. I have classes defending Isaiah 53. I have classes defending mixing. I have classes on defending the
you say mixing, right? I saw like one of your live streams that said we cannot mix with the Hamite.
Yeah, that was the only commandment that Yahweh said not to mix with.
Which part of the Bible that says?
Deuteronomy chapter 7, verse 1 through 6.
3.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3.
How about the Edomite? Like,
nope.
Not even the Edomite.
This is why I teach. Again, these brothers are gonna have to take it whether they like it or not. But at the end of the day, I teach that the Bible is an anti-black man's book. Okay.
You heard about the Mennonistas? The Mennonite?
Yeah, the Menonitas se llaman.
Yeah, what about them?
Yeah, well, they're a sect just like any other group of people, a Christian group. They don't teach about nationality. Our people, like los Menonitas, they're in northern Mexico. They're in South America.
They're in central and northern Mexico and parts of South America.
Exactly. So they're there amongst our people. Guess what? There is a community of Mennonites in northern Mexico, in Sinaloa, Monterrey,
Chihuahua,
Zacatecas.
I know.
Guess what? Guess what they're doing? They're doing nothing for our people. Instead, they're enriching themselves.
No, dude, not trying to like be biased or anything like that. But Menonista are pretty hardworking, dude. If you really think about it, I mean, they don't get any funding. Yeah, they built houses, they built roads, they built like jobs. Well, like some Native Americans in South Mexico, they don't like do anything, dude. They rather live in the mud house.
Yeah, they do.
Like,
I mean,
like, what's wrong? Like,
you
cannot really always blame the white man or anything like that. Sometimes
I get what you're saying, but what's wrong is that we go back to Deuteronomy chapter 28, where it says that the stranger that lives amongst you shall rise above thee very high, and ye shall come very low. And guess what happened? When the Mennonites coming to our lands, guess what happened? they rise above us very high.
They're just as poor as us, dude. Like even poorer.
But they have communities. They're creating jobs. They're paving roads, this and that and third. They have
Because
money,
they're
dude.
smart, dude.
Well, they have money, and that goes back to
Not a
what.
lot of money. I mean, the Native American has land. Like they don't get taxed or anything like that.
Oh,
But
they don't have land, bro. They have a little closet within the United States.
no,
They're
bro.
in the
Like
closet. They're in the corner.
Mexican American, Native American do get land, dude. Like they don't even get taxed. That's the good thing about Mexico. They don't get taxed like in the U.S.
Brother,
when you live in a house.
Brother Randy, the whole continental United States belongs to the Native Americans. Guess what they
Yeah,
are?
of course. Yeah,
They're-
yeah. I
Okay,
agree.
well, there. Let's just put this figure, right?
Like
Just
Europe belongs
to
to
hold on.
white.
Just to
Africa
put in
belongs for
perspective.
Hamite.
Just to put in perspective, they live, let's say, in 100,000 acres of land. But guess what? Millions of acres belongs to them. The whole continental United States belongs to them, but yet they're given some thousand acres to live for them to be happy. Is that what it was?
I mean,
No.
they could prosper. The Native American, they could like build job for themselves. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah, but
I,
like again, it goes
it
back.
sucks, dude.
It goes back to the curses, bro. It goes back to how our people have fallen so short. Vega, can you bring that scripture out, Deuteronomy 28, where it says that the stranger that is above thee shall rise
But
above
if
thee
you
very
notice,
high?
dude, like the lighter Mexicans, they have pretty decent place to live. Like Guadalajara, Monterrey, Chihuahua's pretty decent too. Zacatecas
Yeah,
is
but
pretty
again,
good.
it goes back.
Like
Again, it
southern
goes back.
Mexico's about the worst part
Yeah,
of Mexico.
yeah,
Other
it
than
goes back.
Cancun, you know, like Quinta Roo.
Right. It goes back to what I was saying. Jose Vega's gonna read the scripture if he finds it, where it says that the stranger, both white men, Edomites, and Africans, will rise above us very high, and we shall come very low. And that's exactly part of the curses. That's part of the curses of Israel. That's part of the curses of our nation, because we left our commandments, our statutes, our in constitution, which is the laws. Well, because we left it down, now we're left with all this poverty and all this other stuff that is going on in our communities, because the stranger that is amongst us have risen above us very high. And that's what's going on today. What do we have? The white man is ruling over us. The white man is ruling over the natives, over the so-called Mexicans, even though Texas, California, Nevada,
Yeah,
it's our land. Yet
it
they're
is.
in our midst and they're ruling over us.
If
It
you think
goes
about it,
up.
like in 100 years, it's gonna be ours again. I mean, Hispanics gonna make up what, like 50% of the population in 50 years?
Well, even if it does, bro, even if it does, that's not gonna make a difference if our people doesn't come back to our true nationality, true who we are. Because if you don't know who you are, let's say you, okay, I'm gonna give you an example, Randy. Your father is a billionaire, right? You have billions
I
and
wish.
billions. Hold on, brother. Your father is a billionaire. You have billions of dollars that belong to your father. And guess what? That's your inheritance. But guess
Yeah.
what? You walk around on this planet thinking that you only have $100 in your bank account. And you do that for years and years and years. And you never know, you never find out that your father is a billionaire. Guess what? It's the same ideology with our people. Our people are walking around thinking that we only have $100 in our bank account, when in fact our Father is the Father of all. We are the chosen seed. Yet, even though we may be numerous in numbers in 50 years, our people are still gonna walk around as if we're peasants, and we're not. Why? Because our people have not known who they are. Just like we read in Isaiah chapter 1 and 3, it says that the donkey and the cow, they know who their owner is. Why? Because in the countryside, when a donkey gets lost, guess who he goes back to? His owner.
Yes.
He
Yeah.
knows the way back to his house. Well, guess what? Israel does not know. Israel does not know. Israel has forgotten their true heritage, and this is why what's going on. So what you're saying, even though later on in 50 years, 20 years, 30 years from now, we are gonna be greater in numbers, guess what? Our people are gonna still walk around like we are peasants. Why? Because our people does not know that we are the chosen seed. Jose Vega, you got that scripture?
Hey, dude, I wanted to say also this part. I don't know what scripture it says, but it says that your brother will be evil towards your brother.
Yeah,
Like right here in the prison system, it's like you know how you have norteño, sureño always fighting each other. The the Haman like to use that scripture too, like saying the Chris and the blood. But yet
yeah.
when they go to prison, they're like united under the Black Guerrilla Army or whatever. So like we're still like the only one fighting each other, and also like a saying, what's the worst enemy of a Mexican? Another Mexican. You know what I mean?
Yeah, right.
You know, ¿quién es el enemigo de otro mexicano? Es otro. You know, like it's this, dude. It's like it's thrown to you. You know, like
All right.
right
So
in your
let me
face.
read Deuteronomy 28, brother. Let me read Deuteronomy 28, verse 43. It says, "The windy shall get above thee very high, and thou shalt come down very low." It says, "He shall lend to thee, and thou shalt not lend to him. He shall be the head, and thou shalt be the tail." You see? It says, "Moreover, all these curses shall come upon thee, and shall pursue thee, and overtake thee, till thou be destroyed, because thou hearkenest not unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to keep his commandments and his statutes which he commanded thee." You see? And it says, "And they shall be upon thee for a sign and for a wonder, and upon thy seed forever," meaning an ongoing thing. And this is exactly what I was saying earlier, that even though we might be numerous in number later on in the future, our people are not gonna, rise up or anything, because our people do not know who they are.
This is just the beginning, dude. I don't even think we're in the last captivity. It's just the beginning because I got a feeling like the U.S. it's gonna annex Mexico anyway later down the
Who?
road.
Who?
The U.S. United
What
States.
about,
I think they're gonna annex Mexico sooner or later
you mean united with like the Amero?
as a country. Yeah, like
I don't
Canada,
know, man.
U.S. and Mexico as a one country.
That's basically what they were saying 10 years ago with
It's gonna happen, dude.
George
Because
Bush. I don't know if it's gonna happen, because
you also notice there's like a lot of Europeans moving to Mexico because it's cheap
well, there's
to
been a
live
lot
in.
of
Also
Europeans
American,
moving.
also.
There's been a lot of Europeans moving in our countries way back in the 1400s, so there's not nothing new. So, but I don't think the America is gonna happen. I think it goes back to something greater, which is the new world order, which is basically what we read in Revelation 13, where it says that the beast will basically create some sort of united nations, some sort of you know super continent, where there was gonna is gonna be a one financial system that's gonna rule them all. And I don't think the America that's something minor. I think that, like, there is this plan of United Nations called the Global Initiative, or Plan 2030. That's what it's called, Plan 2030. It's basically a lot of the nations that have already planned this out, bro. But a lot of people don't know this, but these nations have came into a meeting back, 4 years ago. They sit down, they talked about how they're gonna bring this about. Nobody knows about this. Obviously, you can go read it for yourself. I don't know if I can find the link, but it's
But I
basically
do
called,
believe, dude, because
yeah, it's called
Mexico doesn't.
the
Um,
Initiative 2030, in which the nations of the world have already discussed how they're gonna bring their plans about bringing peace and equality into the whole world, but at what means, at what price. So that's gonna happen. So I don't think that the marriage is just something minor.
well, it is. Well, it's happening, right? I mean, the Americans sure love to have all the resource that Mexico has. I mean, they're already doing it with Afghanistan, all these other countries for oil.
Yeah.
So all those resource, mineral, tourism, pure money for the Edomite, right?
Mm-hmm.
So there you go, dude. Like, just another piece of the cake. This and the Europeans just another connection because they're moving by like a lot of numbers, dude. And I'm guessing the Arabs and the Africans are moving into Europe. They're just like leaving it behind and coming to the Americas. So Yeah, that's what. I don't know, some conspiracy. I don't know.
Oh yeah,
So
it's
what do you?
called. It's
What?
called yeah. So it's called Sustainable Development Goals, which is basically um. What is it? Uh, yeah,
Hey,
that's
dude, what do you think about the Castizos? Like Julio Chavez, the boxer. Are they Israelite too, or not?
it could
Like
be. You
Canelo
know,
Alvarez.
well, we don't go by color, man. Like Vega and I, we've been saying this for a while. Like we don't go by color because color is not your spirit. Your spirit is what bears witness. It's the connection to the Father. It's not a color thing for us. Like, oh, you black, well, therefore you're Hamite, you're Canaanite.
Yeah.
It's the spirit. It's how you operate. It's the spiritual stance that is how you operate, like in the spirit, right? Because every single human being is a spiritual being. First and foremost, you are a spiritual being. You are eternal already, right?
Yeah.
So it's not a color thing. Like, oh well, he is black, so therefore he's African, or Hamite, or Canaanite, or Jebusite, or Egyptian. But at the end of the day, everybody gives themselves away because you will be able to tell, like, well, you're operating on how the Gentiles think, and so on and so forth.
All right. So
You
so
know,
spiritual.
To answer the brother's question, always studying, he says, did Canaan have leprosy? There was only one nation that was plagued with leprosy, and it was the Horites. There are like 7 or 10 other Canaanite nations, but it was the Horites that was plagued with leprosy. And leprosy does not change your phenotype. So even if Canaan uh, and the Horites turned leopard, they would still basically be like black albinos,
right?
which
You
we
guys
see
heard about
plenty
the
of black.
conversos?
No, we haven't. What is that?
It's like a Jewish, well, a Jew converted into a Catholic during back in the days during Spain colonial time. Like they couldn't practice Judaism, so they converted. So it's called conversos.
Hmm.
So I
Yeah,
was
Yeah, of
wondering,
course.
they're
Of course.
Israelite
There's many nations have converted,
because
into our
those dudes
beliefs.
were
You know
like
what I'm
one of
saying?
the first one to come in the boat to Mexico when they were sending out ships.
Yeah. It is true. I mean, not only they were coming here. There you have Moors, Africans that were also converts into Christianity, Islam, and
No,
Judea.
but these dudes were like Jews.
Well, that's
That's
what
why
I'm
they call them
saying.
conversos.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Conversos not it's not only white people. It's also like Moors that converted into Judea customs. Judea customs means also Jews. Jews means Judah or Jew or Jews. So you not only have conversos like the Khazars, so-called Jewish people, they're conversos too. Conversos,
Then
the
you have the
same thing.
Igbo. You have the Igbo also. The Igbos are they're converts.
There's also like a Chinese tribe in China that also is like converso too. I don't know the name, but it's like some Chinese Jews.
True. Did Esau mix with the Horites? Yes, Esau mixed with the Horites. But what a lot of people don't, what people don't realize is that, no, my fault. Yeah,
So what's the plan? Like the same thing what the Israelites are preaching? Like enslave the white man or what?
no.
Nah, that's not our agenda, bro.
So what's the agenda? Enslave
Yeah,
the
well,
Hamite?
we talked about this, I believe, in the last live feed about because with these camps and with this is why again it's like these guys like are horrible with the scriptures.
So
But
anybody could convert or what's up? Like
yes, of course,
let's say the
anybody
white
can.
dudes.
Yes, anybody could convert. You could convert, or even the scriptures talks about it. How the people will grab onto the the Jews' garments, and there would be they will cleave onto us, just like you read in the book of Isaiah, all throughout the book of Isaiah. Um, what last week we brought out First Kings, right? What a lot of people don't understand is that one of the reasons why we're still under this captivity and things of that nature, it has nothing to do with following law, statutes, and commandments. There's never once in the scriptures where the Israelites followed the law, statutes, and commandments, and that's the reason why Yahweh took us out of Babylonian captivity, or the reason why Yahweh took us out of the Assyrian captivity, or took us out of the Persian captivity, or the Greek captivity. You know what I'm saying? It was about the promises, mercies that he bestowed upon our forefathers, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. But what we do need to do to get out of captivity is, ask the Lord for forgiveness and to show love towards our neighbors. And not only that, but show compassion onto the ones who took us captives.
Let me,
And we still cannot eat pork, right?
Right.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah, no taquitos de puerco, man.
No pastor, no carnita.
No al
Dang.
pastor ni nada. Hey, so let me
Chicharrones,
let me answer the question earlier with the scripture in Isaiah 56 verse 6. It says, also the sons of the stranger that join themselves to the Lord to serve him and to love the name of the Lord, to be his servants, everyone that keepeth the Shabbat from polluting it, and take it whole of my covenant. Even them will I bring to my holy mountain and make them joyful in my house of prayer. You see that? So, this is one of the scriptures that also proves that we can bring the other nations and convert them, because at the end of the day, the entire world we have to follow the statutes and commandments in the future. So,
a Mennonite could save himself.
the what?
A Mennonite could save himself by converting.
Yes, an individual.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, then, that's cool.
Yeah,
but
not the Canaanites. The Canaanites were meant to be destroyed. Yeah, well, yeah, that's what this. Do you want me to prove it? I can prove it for you.
About the what?
The
Canaanites.
Oh, that's Zechariah chapter 14, verse 21, I believe.
So, Jose, you've been studying for 6 years, huh? So far.
Yeah, well, I've always been into history. I was always been in that for my whole life, so I'm pretty good with history, especially native history, Egyptian history, and things of that nature.
Oh, cool. Same here.
All right, so
I know a lot about history too.
Zechariah 14:21, it says, "Yeah, every part in Jerusalem and in Judah shall be holiness unto the Lord of hosts, and all they that sacrifice shall come and take of them, and seethe therein. And in that day there shall be no more the Canaanite in the house of the Lord of hosts." You see, so in that day, a lot of these Canaanites will be basically destroyed, just like they were meant to be destroyed in the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 20, verse 17.
And again, and even according to the laws of war, the Canaanites was the only nation Yahweh told us not to mix with, deal with, and basically to kill each and every one, man, woman, and child. There's no other nation in Torah where the Most High commanded to kill everybody. Like we had wars with the Midianites, but even when we had war with the Midianites, Yahweh made a law saying, well, you can kill all the males, but you can keep all the women and children and all their livestock and things of that nature.
I'm going to read Deuteronomy 20, verse 17, where Jose Vega just said this. Yeah. Deuteronomy chapter 20, verse 17, it says, "But thou shalt utterly destroy them, namely the Hittites and the Ammonites, the Canaanites and the Perizzites, the Hivites and the Jebusites, as the Lord thy God commanded thee." You see? So the Mosai said, I'm going to read verse 16. It says, "But of the cities of these people which the Lord thy God doth give thee for an inheritance, thou shalt save alive nothing that breatheth." You see? And then 17, it tells you that, all the Canaanites were supposed to be utterly destroyed from the face of the earth. And obviously we fell, so that's why we have this commotion.
Well, it's go to Deuteronomy 20, because that's exactly where Yahweh commands us to kill like each man, woman, and child of the Canaanites.
Yeah, verse 14.
You there?
Yep.
Read it.
It says, I'm gonna start at verse 12. It says, Deuteronomy chapter 20, verse 12, it says, and if it will make no peace with thee, but will make war against thee, then thou shalt besiege it. Verse 13, and when the Lord thy God had delivered it into thine hands, thou shalt smite every male thereof with the edge of the sword. Verse 14, but the woman and the little ones and the cattle and all that is in the city, even all the spoil thereof, thou shalt take unto thyself, and thou shalt eat the spoil of thine enemies, which the Lord thy God hath given thee.
See, right there is what Yahweh commanded how to deal with the nations, the other nations during wartime. Now keep reading, read verse 15 and 16.
Yeah, I already read that earlier.
Oh, that's what you just read?
Yeah, that's what I read
So,
earlier.
yeah, thou shalt do unto all of the cities, which are very far off from thee, which are not of the cities of these nations, but of these cities, the people of the Lord doth God give an inheritance, and thou shalt save alive nothing that breatheth. And the nation he was talking about were the Canaanites. So in the beginning of this chapter, he's given us rules of war of how to deal with the other nations outside of Israel. But these Canaanites, it's a different one. You have
They're
to kill
just a wild
each.
beast.
Yeah, we're supposed to kill man, woman, and child. Anything that breatheth, livestock, everything.
Goddamn. You guys heard about another Canaanite getting shot by a cop and they burned down a Wendy's?
Yeah, I believe they said it was like a white girl that burned down the Wendy's or something. Some guy posted it.
Oh, it was a white girl?
That's
I
what
thought it was the Canaanite. I was gonna say that's in their spirit to burn it down.
You just made me fell.
But goddamn, they did a number in all these cities, looting and rioting.
Yeah, man.
You never
so,
see the Native man or the Hispanic man doing that.
I mean, we protest and this and that and the third, but we're not rioting like like them destroying. This is why the Inca brother brought a beautiful scripture in the book of Jubilees, chapter 10, where a lot of these Canaanites will basically rise up in sedition. In sedition, basically meaning going against the authorities and leading others to do the same thing, to destroy. And this is how they took our land back in ancient times. They went against the council of Shem and Japheth, because Ham and Japheth told them, listen, do not inhabit the land of Canaan, the land of where it flows milk and honey, because that land belongs to the Shemites. And the Canaanites was like, no, F that, we're going to inhabit the land. That land is ours. And so they went against the authority of Shem, Japheth and Ham, and they didn't want to listen. So they went in, they inhabited it for 400, 500 years after we came in out of Egypt. And then, we went into battle with them. But that's exactly how they operate.
All right. Destruction.
Hey, you want to
That's
drop
crazy,
the one more
dude.
time for anybody who wants to join in, Ayash?
Jeremiah of Issachar, I don't know if you're still on it, but if you wanna come on in, if you wanna come and join us, go ahead. I'm gonna drop the link. Anybody that wants to join in, I'm gonna drop the link. If not, we're gonna just sign out. Give me a minute. Vega,
Yeah.
can you go to Ezekiel 28 verse 20?
You seen the video from the Lion King protecting their neighborhood?
Yeah, man. Yeah, that's exactly why I got blocked on Facebook for 30 days, because I made a post saying, a big shout out to the Latin Kings for
The real
protecting
Israelite.
for protecting our neighborhoods and stuff. And all of a sudden I got reported, and I got 30 days in Facebook jail. So, but anyway, so
Facebook jail?
yeah.
I don't really do Facebook. So so you say anything like against their
rules and whatever.
Oh, damn.
and then your post gets reported and stuff, and Facebook reviews it. It's like, well, you violated the guidelines of the community, so
So
you're
you
black.
didn't really say anything offensive.
I didn't say anything offensive. I just said a big shout out to the Latin Kings for protecting our communities from these African Canaanites. that are trying to destroy our communities. And I put it in yellow. I put a yellow background and stuff. And
Oh,
then
damn.
someone reported me, I guess. I don't know who that was, but whatever. I'm blocked for 30 days.
These Canaanites are fucking crazy, dude. They destroyed their own stocks in their neighborhood. Then they
Yes.
wanted to go down Little Village in Chicago
Yeah.
and do the same thing. So the Mexican and Puerto Rican rejected it and fought back.
They did. They did. They stood all night too. All the Latin kings. They set up shop for all throughout the night, man. All throughout the night, and then in La Villa.
And
But
those
anyway.
and those mom and pop shops are Israelite, dude. They're like Hispanic stores. They're not gonna
I
come
know.
in there and destroy it and loot it.
Yeah, exactly. Like, what is this, man? Like, what are you trying to do? This is
Planet of the Apes
exactly,
and shit.
bro, and Randy and everybody else that's watching. This is exactly what happened during the invasion of 1492, when a lot of these Africans came on this side of the world as well to do the same thing. It's nothing new. This is nothing new. This is how they operate. And guess what? A lot of these looters in these riots or whatever, they were mainly 98% mainly whites and blacks,
Yeah.
which is the same thing that happened back in 1492. Anyway, so the question was, why is the African American being shot in the streets today?
I mean, they're not
Beg-
angelitos, you know. I mean, look at the guy who got killed. That dude, like you said, he got like 5 years for coming into a Hispanic house, pointing his gun. I mean, he could have killed her.
Yeah,
He already have a long history of criminal records. Also, the other guy who got killed in Georgia, who got like killed by 2 white dudes.
yeah.
He was not
was
even an angel either, dude. He was repeatedly getting stopped by the cop.
well, not only that.
And talking back, dude. I mean, this is the spirit of the Hamite. What make you think they're above the law? Like, come on, dude. This
Well,
stop
that's-
you just stop and listen, obey order, and get in the
Right,
freaking
that's it.
car.
Well, that's exactly why I said in the book of Jubilees, Inca brought this out when he said we talked about the Canaanites will rise up in sedition, meaning going against authority, and that's exactly how they operate. But let me bring this scripture out before we sign out, because we're over 2 hours. If brothers don't want to join in, we're just gonna bring this out and we're gonna sign out. But yeah, so the question is, why is the black man being shot in the streets all throughout the continental United States? Vega, can you read Ezekiel 28 verse 20?
Yep. And this is Ezekiel 28, verse 20. Again, the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, Son of man, set thy face against Zidon, and prophesy against it, and say, Thus said the Lord God, Behold, I am against thee, O Zidon, and I will be glorified in the midst of thee. And they shall know that I am the Lord, when I shall have executed judgment in her, and shall be sanctified in her. For I will send into her pestilence and blood into her streets, and the wounded shall be judged in the midst of her by the sword upon her on every side, and they shall know that I am the Lord.
Right.
And
Right,
there
that's
shall be no more the pricker being unto the house of Israel, or any grieving thorn of all that are around about them. They despise them, and thou shalt know that I am the Lord God.
Yeah, so that's prophecy concerning why is the African American being shot in the streets, because those are the judgments against a lot of these Canaanites that oppress our people. It's like karma, basically. Whatever they did back to us back in ancient times in Jerusalem, whatever they did back in ancient times in 1492 is exactly what they're getting paid for, because they did that to us. They were raping our women. They were destroying our communities. They were burning our cities. They were killing our people when they came with the Spaniards back in 1492. When Babylon invaded our land, that's exactly what they were doing as well. That's why we read in Psalms 83 or I think in Psalms where it says that, Jerusalem raised it, and the Edomites took advantage of that, because the Babylonians were destroying us, and all of a sudden the Edomites saw that. It's like, oh well, let's take advantage of that too, and everybody else, the Canaanites as well. So that's why they're getting shot. This is judgments against them. So for brothers that want to believe in the Bible, well, this is the answer for why is the black man being shot in the streets? Well, that's what the scripture says. Judgments against Sidonians, Olmecs, or Canaanites. So,
or even Tyree, because like I say, even when you read verse 10, it says, "Thou shalt die the deaths of the uncircumcised by the hand of the strangers," plural. "For I have spoken it, said the Lord." So again, that would be one of their punishment, being killed by the strangers, being in multiple nations.
Yep.
And again, what black African nation fits all this what we're reading in the book of Ezekiel?
Right. Exactly.
He says Columbus was in search of the children of God. Yes, he was. You can read that in the book of The Lost Tribes and Promised Lands by Ronald Sanders. How Columbus brought a Hebrew interpreter with him. And that same person ended up staying in the Americas or in Cuba and never returned back to Spain. Louis
What do you
de la
guys think
Torres.
about living the old way of life, like hunting and gathering, like
Yeah.
living by the river and
That's the
have
way
a
it's supposed to
tent
be,
or
man.
regular house?
Beautiful stuff.
What we're living right here in the U.S. is just pure luxury. I don't know. Yeah.
It's garbage, man.
It's not pure luxury. You have to basically
I mean, for the
you have to work
average,
crazy hours just to maintain a freaking car.
we're not really working for ourselves. It's say work for yourself. Like I prefer to farm and hunt and gather. You know what I mean? Like live next to a river and fish my own food.
Yeah, growing your own crops and stuff.
Yep.
Survival mode. That's exactly. We're gonna bring a class on that later on, because brothers gotta
Next
start.
time.
Yeah, next time. Well, brothers have got to start looking into buying land for yourselves, bro.
Thankfully, I
at
have
least
the
one.
land in Mexico, dude. That's what I'm kind of thinking of doing.
We're right, but everybody can do that everywhere they are. Like there is cheap. America's being sold. A lot of people don't know that. America's being sold, bro, because America has been bought by China, and it's a mess. America is not. It's messed up. So, there's a lot of land that is very cheap in America, bro. Here in North America.
I mean, we still get taxed. I mean, that sucks. Like,
Yeah.
we're not completely free. I mean, we gotta be free,
I told you to go to bed, mama.
like tax free. Grow our own crops, fish our own food, our livestock.
Yeah, exactly. Like grow your own crops, tomatoes, corn, the basics and stuff. And then, have a few chickens that can give you eggs and stuff. And those chickens could grow into more chickens, multiply them and stuff.
Yeah.
Buy a couple cows, like a male and female, have a
Dude,
calf, so on
I
and so
told
forth.
this to my friends that we should do that. Like everybody should do that. They think I'm just a hippie or yeah, like a hippie. Like
Well,
or that just like, dude, it's not
it's
really just being a
It's
hippie
better to
or
be a hippie, bro, than to be enslaved into the system, because at least the hippies back in the day, like back in the 1960s, they were basically freedom fighters. They had a freedom mindset and stuff. They live off of nature. They live off of the land. They live off the grid and stuff. I mean, they were more free than people now.
that's
So
what I
I'd rather
noticed.
be
They're like more happier back in
yeah, I'd
those
rather
days.
I'd rather be a hippie than being enslaved into like working for the system. And this is why a lot of people go to school. A lot of people think they go to school to educate themselves. No, to be a slave.
Yep.
They train you to be a slave into the system so that you can get plugged into the system. So it's an eternal cycle. It's like your sons and your sons and your sons, children. They're gonna go to school, go to college, get a degree, go get
Slave
graduate,
factory.
get plugged into the system, and then his children are gonna do the same thing. And his children, it's like a vicious cycle, bro. It's never ending. You're always gonna be enslaved into this fucking system. It's crazy. It's
cool that you
insane.
guys have that mindset that I've said, like hunt and gather and our own livestocks and crops, tomatoes, this and that, apple trees. You know what I mean? Like that's really cool. That's
We're gonna have to do that when we go into the wilderness, anyways.
exactly do once World War III start, the race war or whatever.
Yep.
Yep, that's where you got to prepare yourself. You know what I'm saying? I have, firearms, and I even, bring my daughters to the range. You gotta prepare for anything, man. Survival.
That's true.
Because the scriptures does say that in the end times, every nation shall go back to their own nation.
It also says that you should work for yourself. Like basically that's what I mean, right? Like crops, hunt and gather and stuff like that. Like instead of working for a slave.
Well, that's also part of like why we fallen as a nation. It goes back to what I wrote earlier, like the stranger that is amongst us has risen above us very high, and we had come very low. Now we have, we living under the rules of the other nations. So even all the world is sunk into this whole system again. It's like
Like
it's
no
a
wonder
mess.
like the Native American lived so peaceful back in the days. Like
They
live off
did.
the land.
They did, and even like there was a chief that even said he's like, well, before the white man came over here, like we went and hunt for our food. We came back, make love to our wives,
Yeah.
and then we smoke some pipes and look at the stars, share wisdom, sit down in the bonfires and stuff, and that's it. That was life, man. And he even said there was no need for us to have a system of jail because there was no crime. Why?
True.
Because we understood amongst themselves, like we share stuff. We didn't steal anything. And if that happens, like they will be brought into some council of judgment with the judges and stuff.
Yeah. And like
But
payback or times 2 or whatever, right? Like
yeah, like or be wiped, whipped or whatever. But
Even Columbus said that he never met a more good people than the natives he bumped into over here in the Americas.
there's also
right.
like they said something about the Aztec Empire was very similar to the Vatican, like
Yeah,
some Italian
yeah,
city,
yeah,
like a modern city. It was like
yeah,
so
yeah,
freaking clean and all this and that.
exactly. I brought that out like 5 years ago when I bought this book called The Mexican Pyramids by Peter Tompkins, I believe, and in it tells you that when the Spaniards came to see Tenochtitlan, they
Yeah.
saw it from above, and they're like, "What the?" Because they saw it more beautiful than Venice. They
Yeah.
even said it's like it's more beautiful than Venice and Rome. Like, what is this? Because we have paved roads. Our women had long dresses. Our men had like garments, like actual garments, not like the shit that Mel Gibson shows where he portrays us as savages, like with like just one garment, like trusas.
We used
Like
to have
no,
like our
bro.
own freaking place to do our like our piss and shit. Like
Yeah,
while
yeah.
in Europe they were
Bathrooms and
throwing the
stuff.
urine out their window.
Drainage. We had a drainage system. Water. ¿Cómo se dice? Like water canals and stuff. We even have like a highway. We had the first highway in South America, in Chile, the Incan Empire. They had the first highway way before the Romans.
That's freaking awesome, dude.
Yeah.
I
So
also heard like there like so much food that you could just go right next to a freaking apple and fucking pick it out and eat it.
uh,
And fishes. Man, we're enslaved, man. Fuck this world, dude. It's too
Can you
hard.
just and
I hate it.
remember? Can you imagine how beautiful this land was a couple of 100 years ago, man?
Oh man, I could just imagine, dude.
Paradise.
aqueducts. Lily
Paradise.
Blood Moon. Yeah, that's right. Aqueducts.
Just
Yeah, we had
imagine how
aqueducts.
beautiful was New York, dude, with all that green greenish. Well, they're destroying it now, but imagine how nice it was.
Yeah, yeah, man. Like our people was connected with Mother Nature, like Mother Earth. We were connected to Mother Earth with nature herself. You know, we were very highly spiritual beings. Right now, like we're
We were
so
like
stuck in this technology. We're
we
stuck
were
in
like
these
we were like the
foods.
avatars.
Yeah, basically, yeah. We were like avatars, like just connected with nature. We were able to like communicate better. You know, our spiritual man was cleaner. It didn't have filters like the filters a lot of people have today.
And it had nothing to do with a book. That's what people don't understand. You see how we're talking about spirituality, right? And our ancestors dealt spiritually, right? What's going on nowadays is people are putting the so-called scriptures over your own spirituality. You see what I'm saying?
Hmm.
They think that reading the scriptures powers them up like a super saiyan or something. I was like,
Right.
no, no. You know, say like we were just discussing. Our ancestors were in tune with nature. We were in tune with God. We were in tune with with everything around us and wanted in one another. Most important. You know what I'm saying? Love your
Exactly.
neighbor.
That's the thing about
Exactly.
Native American. It has so much respect to the animals, the
Hmm.
freaking Mother Nature, the
Well,
rivers.
all our people were, but remember, we had shamans. Shamans, what were shamans? Shamans were healers. Healers that use plants and herbs and roots and leaves and teas and all this other beautiful stuff that the Most High left for us to heal our bodies and to heal our minds and to elevate our minds too. And so a lot of the shamans, like when the Spaniards came on this side of the world, they're like, well, they're witches. And so they started burning all our books. They started burning our prophetic visions and dreams and all the stuff that we had. And so we were labeled as witches and whatever the hell, you know, because they didn't understand that our spirituality had nothing to do with the book, but it had to do with our connection with the great spirit, you know. And so this is why I made a post a while ago saying that we have severed, the entire world has severed the connection with spirit. This is why today our people are cling to pages and books and ink, and they're like Jose Vega says, like if you read the scriptures, that means you become a super human being. No, like you already connected to source. It's just that our people have connected or severed that link. There's an actual link that links your spiritual man to the father, to you know, to mother God and stuff. So it's like we lost it because now we're clinging to ideologies and dogmas from men instead of us going back to the father and going back to the great spirit and connecting back to the father. And the best way to do is what with creation, because creation is the very same, is the first sons and daughters of God. Creation was all the animals, all these trees, all these plants were the first sons of God, and they're living entities on this planet. All the trees, everything's connected. They're the first sons and daughters. They were here first. So, you know, we were connected to everything because everything's connected. We are vibrating beings. Everything's vibration on this planet, sound and frequency. And trees are that. It's just atoms that are compressed together. So, you know, brothers wanna enslave themselves into a book,
That's the
rules.
thing about the Aztec. What happened, dude? We left. We kind of fell off the religion, and God punished us by bringing the Spaniards.
Hmm.
And we had traders that joined our side and
Yeah, we
kill.
did sellouts like La
Yep.
Malinche, you know, La Malinche, like you know, first sellout for the Aztecs. We have all the sellouts too in South America and the Incan Empire, and we had sellouts here in North America with the Native Americans. We had sellouts, man, all the time. It's like it's sad, man. Imagine if we put our own uh what is it conditions to the colonizer, like, well, if you're gonna come into our land, well, you're gonna have to abide by our own rules. But our people didn't do that because our people
That's
had
what
a good
happened,
heart.
dude. They
Our people
they
had a
they
good
became
heart.
sellout,
Well,
and it became worse. The
uh,
Spaniards put them into slavery,
yeah,
stole their land.
yeah.
Hey, dude, this one thing about the Hebrew camp, they don't really know anything about the Native American at all, especially South American.
Well, they pretend to know. They can say one or two or three
Dude,
things about
like
us.
literally, like the only freaking tribe they'll fucking try to fucking identify for South American is the Incas. 'Cause I saw a video from one of the Israelites. They couldn't even identify which tribe a Native American was in Chile, the Mapaches, and also in
Yeah.
Argentina. And then you had the Guaranis in freaking
Mhm.
Paraguay. Then you had the Charruas in Uruguay. They don't know
Mhm.
any of that.
Well,
They're
not only that, like you got, for example, in the Aztec Empire, you had like the Tlaxcala, los Zapotecas, and
the
all the on the other side.
Tamaruas,
The what?
Tamaru. No, no,
No,
Tamarua.
Tarahumaras.
Some
Well, the
Taramara.
Tarahumaras
Oh,
are,
my bad.
yeah,
Yeah,
Tarahumaras
Taramara,
are north. Well, the Tarahumaras are northern Mexico, and they're Seminole
Apaches,
Indians.
Apaches
Yes.
in northern Mexico and Texas and southern
Yeah.
West. Like they don't know any of that. Especially, like I said, dude, they couldn't even identify the Chilean Native American tribe, and then they would keep telling him, "Or you're Inca," and he was just getting pissed off. Like,
Yeah.
no, no,
Yeah.
because
That's why.
because he was
Yeah. That's why.
describing a Peruvian tribe.
Yeah.
And
That's
for a
why.
Chilean, that he got mad, dude. He was going, no, no. If
Well,
he would
that's
have said
why.
Mapache, then yeah,
That's why the 12 tribe is garbage, because the 12 tribe, that's a
bullshit.
disservice to our people completely.
Not
So
even not even that. Like I said, they can't even push that fucking doctrine in the Eastern Hemisphere. Like I find it so funny that Genesis 49 is only talking about the Americas and identifying the Israelites in the Americas, but they can't use that same scripture to identify the people in the Eastern Hemisphere. Why? Because that doctrine is trash.
Completely trash. Even carry out to Europe, dude. Now you have like freaking Hamites from Africa, straight off from Africa, preaching the word on the street in London. It
All right,
looks
well, it's getting pretty late over here. I got to get to work early in the morning. It's already
yeah,
past like 12 over here.
yeah. Lily Blood Moon. Shalom, sis. Thank you for being in the chat with us. Thank you for hanging out. Shalom, everybody. Thanks for joining. Thanks for hanging out with us.
Hey,
Hopefully next
Randy,
time we have.
if you have a Facebook, you could always hit us up on Facebook and stuff like that.
I don't have a Facebook, but I have this YouTube account.
Right.
All right,
Okay.
sure.
Well,
I mean, when you guys go live again, I'll jump in.
yeah.
All right, cool.
If you have any questions regarding like whatever, just hit us up. Message us or whatever.
All right, cool. We'll talk about nature next video. Like living off the nature, or what kind of video you guys
Uh,
thinking of making?
I'm not sure. We'll see. We'll play it out. We usually don't plan these things out. We just get in and just talk about stuff. But I want to do a video on survival skills. Like at least give like at least 10 survival skills that people can learn. Right now, I'm buying my stuff. Like I buy my tent. I bought my burner stove. I bought a bow and arrow already. um I'm studying the lands wherever I go. I study the lands, like where are the rivers, where's the water at, because that's really important if you want to
That's
establish
very
a
handy,
base.
dude. Especially
Yeah,
like to drink water and fish, locally fish,
yeah,
cook and just eat.
right. All right, Jose Vega, man, I'm gonna let you go because I know it's late, man.
All right, Shalom.
All right,
Shalom.
dude.
All right,
I'll
Randy,
see you
man,
guys next time,
it's
man.
good yeah, it's good talking to you, man. Next time, come in and jump in, and if you have any questions, let us know. Just
All
ask
right, cool,
away,
man.
man. Anything.
All right, man. Thanks, dude. Have a good one.
Shalom.
Bye.
Shalom, Yashra. Oh, thank you for joining in. Mexica, Tony, Tonativo. Who are you, brother? Buen trabajo, hermano. I don't know who you are. Mexica, Tonativo. Mexica, Mexica, Tonativo. Shalom, everybody. Shalom.